In just one off-season, the Hornsby Ku-ring-gai Spiders have transformed their roster to one of the best in the East. New coach Shac Shorer will be returning to his junior club and has brought Australia and New South Wales representatives with him. They will join a roster that is already chock full of talented Spiders veterans and young superstar Jessie-May Hall. Not only that, the Spiders have announced 2 imports that look like they're ready to take this roster on a deep finals run. But the good news didn't stop there, as NBL1 East powerhouse and Spiders junior Kristina Moore is also coming home. Things are really on the up at the Brickpit, so I joined my good friends at East Got Game to talk about it. Welcome to Waratah on VCR.
It's the Hornsby Ku-ring-gai Spiders. James, this roster is on fire.
Yeah.
I know, geez. Yeah, wow, no bias in picking this one, but like anyone can tell you that this Hornsby Ku-ring-gai side is, it's just ridiculous. And I think actually before I get to the roster, I will start with the coaching staff. I think going out and getting Shac Shorer to return to Hornsby Ku-ring-gai. Of course, he was originally a youth league player at Hornsby. Just a fun story I had from that. Shac actually met his current wife playing youth league at Hornsby, which is just, all the dreams come true at the Brickpit. What can I say? But to bring Shac back, who again met his wife, played youth league, coached junior reps, Hornsby Ku-ring-gai. He went over to Norths for a couple seasons, had some great success learning under Renee Garlop. I mean, you could get no better mentor in the coaching ranks, really. And then to win a youth league title there, go 11-11 in the NBL1 games where Renee wasn't available, and then to come back to Hornsby. I think that was actually the first domino to fall in what's been a huge off-season for the Spiders. And I think Shac not only did recruit really well, I just think on court, he's just a really great coach, and off the court as well. I think he's a great personnel manager. So personnel manager sounds so professional way of putting it. He's just a good guy and people want to play for him. None of that HR talk here, but yeah. And obviously the first player he brought with him was Ruby Perkins, which is just, it's a huge one. I mean, the Spiders, not to say they really needed any more guards, but Ruby Perkins has got to be one of the best young talents in Aussie basketball at the moment. Heading off to California to play for California in NCAA, but before that, she's represented New South Wales, represented Australia, was one of the few non-COE players to be in that Sapphires squad. And yeah, she was actually one of the better players on that squad as well. So it wasn't like she was just riding the end of the bench. Ruby Perkins has done it all. Like, she really has done it all in her junior career, and was already playing NBL1, I think at age 16. I think that was 2020. I can't remember. It was when the Bears had the awful jersey with the logo on it. I can't remember. It was the Under Armour year, 2023. But then they redesigned the jersey and it looks great this time. But anyway, back to the Spiders. So yeah, Ruby Perkins, I can't speak more highly of her. She is one of the hardest working players you'll ever meet. Remember when I used to work front desk at Norths, Ruby Perkins would be there before me, normally because I'd sleep in a little bit and forget that I had to open up the stadium. No, I'm kidding. But she'd be there before, ready to go, ready to get shots up every day. And you can just tell it pays off. She's also a good learner as well. Always seeking out coaching from all these different sources to try to improve her game, try to get that little edge. And it just shows out on the court. She was just relentless, but also very high IQ point guard. And of course, won the Youth League Championship and Grand Final MVP with Norths 2 years ago. So really, I'd say a pretty good signing. I'd say actually maybe a very good signing, Ruby Perkins. And also coming with her from the Bear Cave, again, as part of that traditional migration pattern between Hornsby and Norths, is Lola Gralton, who I'm really high on actually after seeing her play through her youth career and junior career at Norths. Was an under-16s rep for New South Wales. She's a really feisty point guard. I tell you what, hyper athletic, gets up and gets into defenders. Like, she is like, I really respect that in a player, because anyone can get out and get buckets besides me. But no, anyone can get out there and fill them up and then slack off on defense. But how a player plays defensively says a lot about their character and what kind of talent they are and how they approach the game. And Lola's just a relentless on-ball defender, plays with a real intensity as well, which you'd like to see in young players. He's not kind of just turning up. I'll let my talent do the talking. She's another real hard worker. So I think she'll back up Ruby this year. Also still eligible for Youth League. She played Youth League on the weekend for the Spiders. So I could see her coming off the bench or even starting some games at the point. But is actually quite tall. So I think can actually fill in at the 2 and the 3 as well. So a lot of versatile looks for Shac Shorer. Oh, who else do they have in the backcourt? All right. Jessie-May Hall. Oh, wow.
Never heard of him.
This backcourt, I tell you what, like commentary, my head's just going to be going side to side. Like it's going to be way too fast. With Ruby and Jessie, that they're going to be playing a high tempo Hornsby Ku-ring-gai. And Jessie-May Hall, since she burst onto the scene in that first season, I think she's still 16 as well in her debut season, just tore it up. Had games where it looked like she was going to go for triple doubles of steals, rebounds, assists, and even quadruple doubles sometimes, with points included. You're like, this player is just unbelievable. It's like hard to describe sometimes. She's just so quick. I don't know what it is. There needs to be some kind of sports science breakdown of her fast twitch muscle fibers, the way she gets into passing lanes, gets out and runs, can beat a defender on that first step. Jessie-May Hall and Ruby Perkins, that backcourt is just must-watch television. So make sure you're tuning into the Hornsby games this season. Or come to the Brickpit. It's the place to be. Just a bit of an exclusive. They do have a bar now at the Brickpit, and their own exclusive beer at the Brickpit. So sorry to get a bit of a plug in there, but it's going to be the place to be this season. But especially to watch these two players. I think backing up Jessie-May this season is going to be Nikki Sainsbury, who's another player of huge raps on. An absolute, we call it Sniper Sainsbury. Or Flamesbury, where still the poll's still out a nickname, but yeah, Nikki Sainsbury, another really hardworking player. I think this will be her 3rd season now with Hornsby Ku-ring-gai, and really earned her minutes throughout the year. Again, another really intense defender, can get them up in a hurry. And saw her play a fair bit of UBL back with UTS when they had a team, and they will be returning this season.
Hey.
Nikki Sainsbury, when she's called upon. Like if you want to do commentary, hit me up.
I've already talked to Paige about it.
All right. Let's go. Actually, no. Okay, all right. Sorry, I don't want to turn it back on UNSW, but we'll get back to that later. Because yeah, Nikki Sainsbury in that team, she actually did have a bigger role in UBL, and she showed that she can really step up when she gets more shots. So if they need to call her number, she's ready to go and always plays with that kind of like next person up mentality off the bench. So Nikki Sainsbury, another good culture fit, another great hardworking player. All right. Moving in to the forwards positions, I want to talk about the import, Layla Hartman. Here we go. Hornsby, 2 imports this season. Layla Hartman is a former college teammate with assistant coach Jess Sankadalado, and they played at Northwestern together. And I think played 4 seasons there. Layla did, 3 of which were with Jess. Then I think transferred to NYU. To do a film and documentary degree. She's actually got a documentary on YouTube, which you should check out. So very creative kind of person. Jess was telling me just sent her a text out of the blue, and Layla's like, "Yeah, let's go. Let's give Australia a go." She's arrived in Australia. She was going to play at the Blitz, but of course our games got cancelled. But Layla Hartman, a real kind of 3-and-D player. I think like more of a kind of small forward, but definitely because of her defensive skill can play a little bigger sometimes. So Layla Hartman, definitely keep an eye out for her. And from reports from coaches and stuff, she's playing very unselfishly, which sometimes you don't get from your imports. But she's really bought into the system from what I've heard. So an import for the Hornsby Ku-ring-gai Spiders, won an ACC championship back with Northwestern as well. But I'm not a huge NCAA fan, but I think that's a big deal. Lockie, is it? No, just is it?
Well, if it was
ACC,
Northwestern, it'd be a Big Ten championship if it was Northwestern.
Big Ten, sorry. It's good.
But that is pretty massive, yes.
That's a big deal. I mean, It's a Big Ten deal. So yeah, she'll fill in at the 3 or the 4. Definitely has a good 3-point shot. I think backing her up, we're going to have Daila Walker, a Hornsby lifer. Briefly spent a bit of time in Maitland, but came back to Hornsby in season 2 of NBL1 East. Everyone's familiar with Daila Walker. She's one of the friendliest people in basketball in New South Wales, and is the captain of the squad as well. Daila Walker can really play every position, even at UTS, so playing point guard a little bit. So a perfect player who can really slot in any kind of position. Now moving on, we didn't even get to the big signing of Kristina Moore back at the Brickpit. This is crazy. She was top five in MVP voting last season. If you guys remember, that stretch of 5 games she had in Hornsby's first year, where I think she averaged like 26 or 27 points in a 5-game stretch. Has been played for Central Coast the year after. Was hoping to return to Hornsby, but things maybe just didn't work out. Then went and played for Rachel Manpar. I mean, who wouldn't? At the Central Coast briefly, and then with the Bulls last year. But yeah, now finally back at the Brickpit where it all started, where she played her junior basketball alongside Nicole Hutchins, alongside Jess Sanctolato. Wow. I mean, it's just a great story. Like, I got to say, and Kristina Moore is just a walking bucket. Those years in college with Florida and Georgetown, you can tell, just shaped her into a player who cannot be stopped. And I think what's going to be great for Coach Shac Shorer is she can be an extra ball handler, which I think she did a little too much of with the Bulls last year. But hey, if you needed a playmake, she can, and to free up Jessie and Ruby. But she can also play big, because again, Bulls used her as a center and a power forward last year as well. So can do a bit of everything. But I think Hornsby's going to be playing a pretty high pace. So I'd be surprised to see Kristina playing like kind of the small ball 4, and maybe even slotting into the 5 every now and then. But moving into the big positions, I just can't believe Kristina Moore, sorry. And editing James just butting in for just a moment. One player I did forget who is confirmed for the Hornsby Ku-ring-gai Spiders in their front court, which makes it just that much more dynamic, is New South Wales under-20s representative Lucy Mead, who burst onto the NBL1 East scene last year. In fact, in her first game, I think she had around 19 points in about 15 minutes, including several threes. She is an absolute top talent and has played alongside Ruby Perkins and Jessie-May Hall on the New South Wales level. She also has played under Shac Shorer and with Coach Jess, as well as Jessie-May Hall for Barker. So she's very familiar with this roster. It'll be her second year for the Hornsby Ku-ring-gai Spiders in the NBL1 East level, and Lucy Mead just makes this front court so much more dynamic. She's a more run and gun stretch 4. So that gives Coach Shac Shorer a lot of different looks. The two bigs, Iana Bay and Nicole Hutchins, back for another year. Nicole Hutchins, a legend of the Spiders, another player to go find another club, but came back once Spiders got back into the NBL1 East. Nicole Hutchins is, again, not one of the nicest people you'll meet, does a lot of volunteering work around the club, and is just a force in the paint as well. Nicole Hutchins is like, if you're an opposing center, you don't want to be matching up against her, especially defensively. To get a shot over that wingspan or to try bully her, it just can't be done in the paint. So Nicole Hutchins, I think, is going to fit in really well with this team. If you look up and down that roster, you really don't need that much more scoring. So Nicole's just going to be setting a lot of screens, going to be pick and rolling a lot. Yeah, she's going to be a perfect fit at that 5 spot. And Iana Bay, I'd love to see it. Import, 3rd year back with the Spiders, has really made a home at the Brickpit. And I think in her first year, really started to average around 16 points. Last year had a bit of a different role, had to do a lot more of the dirty work. But I think Iana Bay, just a multi-talented player defensively and offensively. But I wouldn't be surprised to see her playing a little more of the 5 this season as well. Last year, we saw a lot of Bay and Hutchins on next to each other. Maybe this year you'll see them rotated as your 2 bigs. And of course, your 3rd big is Genevieve Audette, who's a Spiders junior, had a bit of injury trouble, but is a really multi-talented center who could fit into the squad really well, Genevieve Audette. So hopefully she can stay healthy this year, because a lot of people around the Brickpit have big raps on Genevieve as the star of the future for them. So just in conclusion, if you're starting 5, let's just do a hypothetical here. Is Ruby Perkins, Jessie-May Hall, Layla Hartman, the new import, Kristina Moore, and Iana Bay. That's dangerous. So compared to the first year of Spiders in the NBL1 East, in just a matter of 4 seasons, they've turned themselves into a extremely legitimate squad.
You reckon they're making top 8 this year, James?
I don't want to jinx it, but I'd say yes. I'd say so. They may even be pushing a bit higher. The reason I say that, though, obviously this roster is talented, but in NBL1 East and across all basketball, you see rosters with talent like this. I think the X factor is, again, Shac Shorer and Coach Jess as well. I think they'll get all these people playing a good brand of basketball, a style that works, that is defensive-minded, gets out and runs, and is unselfish. So I think because of the coaching staff bringing all this talent together, they could be a top 5 team.